Hi, good morning. I'm Grayson Hughes, and you're listening to Morning Jam, the indie music morning minicast that starts the day off with songs you are meant to hear. Today's song is a very, very experienced musician. Sufjan Stevens, Chicago. I'm well aware that this probably has the most amount of listens out of any song I've featured on Morning Jam, but I just have so much of a history with this song that I didn't realize I had that I wanted to feature for this episode. Initially, I was recommended Sufjan Stevens to listen to, and I was not really impressed. I didn't think he was a bad musician, it's just he's extremely experimental, and that's not me. However, this song came across of my adventures in listening, and I was like, immediately, not only did I already know this song, I could tell you why I knew this song. And I had watched a movie called Little Miss Sunshine, and they used the instrumental of this song during one very short part of the movie, but the instrumental struck such a it resonated so well with me. I remembered it even when months later I found the actual song Chicago, and I can think of the scene and everything when they played it. And I think that's probably why I love this song so much, not just because I have that connection to it, but because it is a connection to traveling in general. And I love traveling. I love road tripping. I love everything of this sort. And not only does this song detail some sort of traveling in a van with his friends, it also has an instrumental that feels like you're on the road, and that's why it was a perfect choice for that movie and that scene in Little Miss Sunshine, I'd say. I love the strings on this song. I love the do 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 of the chimes too. It's a very peaceful song, and the very soft voices on the chorus of all things grow. It's a very whole song. It makes it feel very complete. Like, not only the story that it's telling is complete, but just that the whole composition of it is whole. Chicago is actually one of the songs I was inspired by to start Morning Jam. I had just kept it until a perfect day, and I think this Saturday is a perfect one for me. You know, I'm going to be traveling soon. I'm going to visit some of my friends in Raleigh next weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised if I find myself listening to Chicago on the way there. A, it's a far drive, and B, it's a really nice song to travel to, as I've already touched on. What stands out about Sufjan Stevens more than anyone I've ever featured before on Morning Jam is that he has been around for the longest, by far more than anyone else. His first album that was published is from 2003, Michigan, and this album that it comes from, called Illinois, yes, Illinois, pronounce the S, it's from 2005, and I can't help but feel like this is a much more modern song nowadays than it was when it was released back in 2005. I love the fusion of folk music and some sort of, I guess, alternative pop, question mark. It's almost beyond description, which is quite a running trend for Sufjan Stevens' music, but if you listen to even his newer stuff, it's far different from this song. He separates his works into eras, which was why I suggested Sufjan in the first place. I love musicians you can easily separate their music into eras, usually by album. And while I'm not too well versed in his music to tell you which era is what, I can't help but respect an artist who can do that. This was a long episode, huh? I didn't mean to talk your ear off on Chicago, I just had lots to say on it. I'm happy that you listened all the way through, of course. I'm Grayson Hughes, and this was your Morning Jam.